Hey YouTube, it's your girl G.
And it's your boy C, and we back again with another video. We got this project done in under 2.5 weeks. YouTube was good. It's definitely.
I'm having a blast.
We giving y'all great content. Are y'all not entertained?
Alright y'all, so I'm going to get very personal with y'all because I know y'all like to relate with me. So for starters, we're gonna go down memory lane. Let me take y'all back to when I was once that girl who was living paycheck to paycheck. Working a 9-to-5 job, being broke before my paycheck even hit my bank account, and trying to figure out how I was gonna make it. Now I was doing all of this without Carlton knowing, y'all, like.
Yeah, she was keeping secrets.
And with doing that, I was pretty much trying to fake it till I make it, and literally I was drowning. So let's go back to 2020. 3 years ago, I was once sitting on the couch complaining about my job. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna make more money? And I remember seeing Carlton doing the real estate thing all day, every day. So I was like, teach me real estate. Now at first he was like, oh, I know it seems so easy. And I was like, just put me on the phones. So once I was on the phones and he's taught me the ropes, I was like, oh, I can really do this thing.
Yeah, so I remember you sitting there, it was January 1st.
Yeah, January 1st.
And I don't know, maybe it was like an epiphany, but you were feeling like you wanted more for yourself. You seen me wholesaling. I had 1 year under my belt as a full-time wholesaler. And I already had my background as a real estate agent, so I was already deep entrenched into the real estate business. So when you asked me originally, I'm like, look, this ain't for the thin skin, this ain't for the sweethearted. So I said, all right, I'm gonna invest some time into you, and that's exactly what I did. So I started teaching you. I showed you. You caught on fast. You're a fast learner, so it didn't take much, you know. So from there, you started building.
So we're gonna talk about sacrifices. After Carlton taught me all of the basics to what wholesaling was, I was motivated and ready to make phone calls. Now I had to go to work my 8-hour shift, but I was still making phone calls in between customers. I was taking my lunch break making phone calls. I was taking 15-minute break making phone calls, but I knew I wanted to get some money. I know y'all all been there. So what it took was, okay, stop making excuses. I stopped making excuses. Every time I had a question, I would hit him up. Hey, what do you want me to do here? Hey, what do you want me to do there? But I was pretty much treating wholesaling like a side hustle. I didn't know it would actually become a career for me because I was still working a 9-to-5. I still had that W-2 mindset. I knew every 2 weeks I was gonna get my paycheck. So whatever it took with real estate was just something, you know, to have a little cushion on the side. But lo and behold, here we are now.
So you talked about it being a struggle and a sacrifice, and it didn't seem real at first, but that first year you cranked out about 5 or 6 deals. Some people don't get a deal for like a year or two. So talk about, what were you doing? When were you making calls? What was your follow-up? What was your process? I remember you had your journal.
I did.
So can you just briefly throw out what was it like during those times, mid-2020? Because I do remember you grinding hard.
My schedule was pretty much like this. I worked my 8-hour shift, I made phone calls in between my customers, and when I got home, that was pretty much my time to prospect. I was sitting on the couch from like 9 o'clock at night, almost sometimes till 12 a.m. in the morning, putting people in my journals because I was setting myself up for the next day to make phone calls. Now again, like I said, I had to cut out the excuses. There was no reason why I couldn't make phone calls. I said, you know what, I'm gonna get a seller on the phone. And because I was doing that so consistently, I got my first deal in 2 weeks, y'all. I made $5 grand in 2 weeks.
So let's piggyback off that. So now you were getting wholesale checks. We were getting deals together, but that transition again, let's talk about that, to entrepreneur status. You wasn't managing your money the best.
Yikes.
So at one point you were in the negative. I had no idea. You were in a negative bank account. You should have told me, but talk about that. And then at some point you had to make a decision and you quit your job and you had a breakthrough.
Now ladies, you know how we be like, we don't need a man. That was me. Not that I necessarily don't need a man, but I wanted to have my sense of independence. I didn't want to have to go to him and be like, listen, I need help managing my money. I didn't even want to let him know that my bank account was in a negative because I was embarrassed. Like, how you working your job, you getting money from real estate and you broke? But that was me, because I didn't know how to manage my money. As soon as I started seeing the money coming in, I was like, I'm gonna spend it. You know how they say spend a check and get it right back? That was me. But the money wasn't coming in fast enough until I went into a drought. When that drought happened for 3 months, no deals. I was making so many phone calls, but no one wanted to answer the phone. No one wanted to sell me their property. So I told Carlton, maybe my little 9 to 5 might just be okay for me because that W-2 mindset kicked in like that.
I remember you were contemplating on like, should I quit or should I stay at Best Buy? But you made a decision, and I think it's the right one.
Yeah,
so what ended up? Let's talk about when you got to the end of the year 2020. What happened? You had a breakthrough.
I did.
Okay, let's talk about that.
So, the end of the year, we're gonna talk about November. I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Because again, I was still contemplating staying at my job. I didn't plan on leaving. But I had 3 deals that fell boom, boom, boom. Got 3 deals, made $33,000 in 2 weeks. No lie, y'all, $33,000.
But didn't you write your letter of resignation first, and nothing had dropped? That was a lot of faith, by the way.
So when they say move by faith and not by sight, I was doing that. When it came for me to write my letter of resignation, I typed so much like thank you, thank you, thank you, but I refused to say I quit. Reason being, I still was like, I don't see myself leaning on this real estate thing for real, for real. But once I sent out that letter of resignation, November 29th of 2020, whoop whoop.
Still remember the date.
I was able to get a breakthrough deal that happened December 5th, y'all. I didn't even know it was gonna happen. That was probably my biggest wholesale deal as well, because I remember sitting in the office at Best Buy making those phone calls, and the lady was like, come out to see my house. We went to the appointment and Carlton was like, oh, this is a deal.
So you quit your job before the closing was done. And I don't recommend doing this at home. But hey, you did what it takes. This is what it takes though. I mean, people want to know like, how did you get started? Like what was it? This is what you did. You took a risk. So we had the closing lined up. You got the deal through the probate list, by the way.
I sure did.
Free list. We got a video on that on our channel. Go check it out.
Yes.
So you got that deal. I think we made 20,000.
It was 20 bands, y'all. 20
And then
bands.
from there, it was sky's the limit.
So y'all probably trying to figure out what does it mean to stop living paycheck to paycheck. Like I said, I found me a second job, which was real estate, and I invested so much of my time, energy into building that up. I quit my job before even having a deal that closed. Like I was just like, what was I thinking? And then as time started going, you know, progressing, I got smarter with my money management because I had that come to Jesus moment. Like for real, leaving my job with a negative in my bank account, I never wanted to experience that while being an entrepreneur because it's hard. I didn't have a paycheck that was gonna drop in my bank account again. So if y'all are sitting out there and trying to figure out how to stop living paycheck to paycheck, find something that will be able to give you extra money. I don't care if it's driving Uber, DoorDash, taking pictures, whatever it may be. Find something to give you some extra money. And then from there, get serious about your budgeting. Like if you know you're spending money on things that you have no business doing, stop it, because that's what I was doing. I was just spending money recklessly until I had that aha moment and started, you know, buckling on down.
So that deal was basically your security blanket.
Yes.
That money was there for you. So now going forward from there, you were cemented in the business. Your confidence level was there. You knew how to get deals. And that's how you were able to basically get out of the rat race and stop living paycheck to paycheck.
Better believe it. All right, y'all. So I know I got a little bit personal with y'all and all up in y'all business. But if you feel like you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe to our channel. Because if I had someone that sat there and told me how to stop living paycheck to paycheck, I probably would have been a lot further in life by now. But that's all we have for you. So tune in for more at the GNC Show.